Now if you just see, we have been working a lot of times with main, right? So we go with public static void main string array A, and I'm just going with this public static void main string array A. Now actually JVM searches for this main. JVM will actually search for this main, right? The program execution will start from main and will end from main. You may write anything in your program, but if you are not written inside anything inside the main, your program will not be executed, right? So JVM, when JVM starts running the program, it searches for a main. It searches for a main, but it's not like if you simply write void main, it will accept that main, right? It has three basic conditions of main. Only then it will search for that kind of main only. So JVM will search for a main that is public, that is static, and that has array of strings inside argument, right? And that has array of strings inside its argument. So it will search for a main that is public, it will search for a main that is static, and a main that has an array of strings inside its argument. Means that is this: if any one of these conditions is not satisfied, it will throw you an exception, main not found, right? Because it won't accept any such main, right? If any one of this condition is not satisfied, it will throw an exception, main not found. It will simply throw an exception, main not found, that the main has not been found inside the program, right? It does not find any main inside the program, right? Okay, and let's see it. And mind one thing, this is not a syntax error, because if you write void main, right? If you write void main, right? This is correct syntax. There is no error in the syntax. But at runtime, when you try to run the program, at that time an exception will be thrown, because it will not find any main method to start the program, right? So it will be a runtime exception. So it will be a runtime exception. So it will be definitely a runtime exception, right? Okay, so we have void main, and just we can go for this thing, correct. Now if you just come here, see, I'll just remove this static here. This is a correct, perfectly fine method, but you see it does not have a main method, right? And we'll just execute some of the things from command prompt. I'll just go to D Java, okay, and let's say I'll take something new. I'll just go with this test, and I'll open a notepad, right? And I'll just remove this static here. I'll just save it. D cd Java cd new and Java C test.java, compiling the program first. It will compile very fine, no exception, but Java test, right? Error, main method is not static. In fact, please define main method as static, right? So it is saying that this main method is not static and I cannot read this. Just remove public also. and just remove the string array also. Now this, even now the method is completely fine. So just go with javac test dot java java test. Main method not found. The main method has not been found. So the main method should be public, main method should be static, and main method should accept string array. Only then the JVM will read it, right? It should accept this string. So these are the signatures of the main method that are required, right? So it should be public, static, and has array of string inside its argument. Now, why it should be public? Okay, why it should be public? If it is not public, what is going to happen? If it is not public, JVM will not be able to read the main method, because non-public methods will act like protected methods. Okay. So if it's not public, JVM will not be able to read the main method. Why is it static? Why is it static? Right. So we can say that it is static. Basically, my method is static just because all the methods that have been defined here, right, these all static methods, a static method will occupy memory only once, and even if I have many objects, I have 3 objects, there should be only one main, right? So that is why main is static. First, even if we do not make an object, main will be static. Even if we do not make an object, main will be static. Hence, main will occupy memory even if main will occupy memory. So main will even occupy memory even if it is not static. Even if it's not static, main is going to occupy the memory. Now next, second, if we make too many objects of the class, even then there will be only one main. Even if we make too many objects of the class, there will be only one main. Right? Okay. Just see an example. I'll show you a small example. Right? If you can just see here. So we have is class test, and it is having is int x equal to 10 and public static void main as a string array, and inside this main I make 3 objects for it. Test t1 equal to new test, we have test t2 equal to new test, and I have test t3 equal to new test. Right? I have all these methods that are present here. Right. Now basically once all these methods are present, if you see, it will make 3 objects, t1, t2 and t3. But if you just imagine, there will be only one main. There is only one main that is controlling all of them, right? Since it is a static method. But its reference will be present in each of these objects. Its reference will be present in each of these objects. Now, so main method, there will be only one main and its reference will be present inside each object. This is very true. This is a true statement. Now next is that why main has string array args. Why main has string array args? That is, why main is accepting an argument of strings. So why? So basically this is because so that it can accept command line arguments. What is command line argument? We'll just see. So that it can accept command line arguments, right? Very true. Just see here, right? So if you see what is command line argument, I'll just show you here. I'll just save this method, and this time I'll just compile it. Java C test dot Java, right? String array A, I should write it down. Just increase its properties. Okay, so this time, right, and Java test. This runs very fine. This runs very fine, right? Okay. Now I'll go for is Java test 1, 2, 3. And if you see, these are the arguments that I am passing from command line, right? And these will be passed directly to the program. These are the arguments I am passing from command line, and if you see, yes, these arguments are passed. These are command line arguments. So the arguments that we pass to the program from command line are the command line arguments, right? Okay. So what are command line arguments? So I can just write it down. The arguments passed to the program from the command line are the command line arguments. They are the command line arguments. Yes, very true with it. Correct. All these command line arguments will be received by the program through that array, right? All the command line arguments will be received by the program through the array. Through that array we defined there inside the main. And if you just see, if I just want to system.out.println total number of command line arguments a dot length, right? So it will display me number of command line arguments passed. Okay. Right, 0 arguments, 1 argument. These arguments should be separated by a space. 3 arguments. These arguments should be separated by a space. So all these arguments should be separated by a space, right? Alright. Now if you just see here, I can display all of these arguments also. I can just use a small for each loop to string x as a, and I can just display all these elements here. So I can go for system.out.println x, right? I'm just okay with it. Correct. And I'll just go with Java C test.java and Java test 1, 2, 3, and it displays 3 arguments 1, 2 and 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So I can get all these arguments, right? If I want to pass a string, means a word, welcome to Shiva Software, as one argument, then I can use here as welcome to Shiva Software. So inside the quotes it will be treated as one argument. This will be treated as a single argument. Now we can just write a program to find sum of two numbers passed through the arguments, right? So I can just take here total number of arguments first. So int count is equal to, right? If count is less than 0 or equal to 0, in fact it cannot be less than 0 of course, then system.out.println invalid arguments, right? Else I'll convert them int x is equal to integer dot parseInt, right, a of 0, integer y is equal to integer dot parseInt a of 1, and int sum is equal to x plus y. You can just system dot out dot println sum, right? I can just use this. You can just go for java c test dot java. Okay, there is some error, sys correct, and I'll just clear, and java test 10 and 20 30. If I do not pass any arguments, invalid arguments 50 and 70. If I pass any invalid number that cannot be converted from string to integer, it will throw me an error of invalid format. Okay? Just see, I passed 2. Number format exception, right? Why is this exception caused? Right? So if we pass a string that cannot be converted into number, right, JVM throws an exception number format exception. It throws an exception number format exception. Is this clear? Right? Okay.